Okay, we will continue with our modifiers here, and the next one we're going to look at is the array modifier. So if you just click on the array modifier, you get basically a duplicate object. Very simple starting point. So right here on the right hand side where it says count, if you increase that number to 3 or 4 or 6, right? So you start to duplicate the objects in an array. Now the way to use this is, and understand it, is this part that says relative offset. So right now the default is a unit of 1 in the x-axis. So if we shrink this, you see that as it gets shorter, they get closer together. If you spread them apart, they spread apart. If you set this to a 0, they're all sitting on top of one another, right? And if I instead make the offset in the y-axis 1, or let's say a little bit bigger, they spread out on the y-axis, and I could make that 0, and I could do it in the z-axis. And of course you can do this in more than one axis, right? And in negative directions and positive directions, right? Okay, so let's just start with these at let's do 0.75 in the z-axis and 0 in the other axes. Okay, so that's, now the cool thing about the array is that you can, and any modifiers, you can just keep adding them. So if I wanted to create more of these Suzanne heads, I can hit add modifier array, and now you can see here it added a second array based on the first one. They get building on each other. So the first one added 6, the second one is going to add 6 in this dimension. So it's on the bottom here, and you can see how you could just continue to do this over and over again, playing around. Let's add another one, and this time I'm going to say I want this last one to be not offset in that direction, but in the y direction. And I create a kind of grid of these, right? So pretty useful. Now the cool thing about modifiers is that they're not really, you can see that there's just one Suzanne head. There aren't duplicate objects. Modifiers are like illusions in a way. They are adding a kind of property that you don't really fix until you actually hit the apply button. So if I were to finally hit apply, 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 now this is literally one Suzanne head has turned into all these, right? So that's the way modifiers work. They're not really set in stone until you apply them. Okay, so let me undo all those, and actually I'm gonna delete them, so you can easily just delete modifiers too by hitting the X button. All right. Good, so the next video we'll start to look at some of the other modifiers. We'll leave this one here.